Yo, 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 yo. What's good, world? It's your boy Rob, the
Hey
Geo.
G, what's going
Yo,
on?
real talk, real views coming through with another episode. Yo, we got a special guest in the building, one of our heavy hitters. This man right here, Alex, he's going to put us on the app game. Right, Joe? Aren't you excited about this, Joe? Come
No,
on, man.
today's gonna be a great episode. All these different apps that you hearing about, he got the sauce, he got the scoop, he got everything right now. Pay
Right.
attention.
Hell yeah, because I know a lot of people, Alex, they all want to get into the app game. But yo, I'm gonna let Joe kick this thing off. Go ahead, Joe.
So Alex, basically, just want to get a little information about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. So appreciate y'all boys for having me in this podcast. It's
Mhm.
an opportunity for me to be able to put my word out there. So my name is Alex. I go by Lex or Alex. I was born in Miami, Florida. When I was 8 months old, I moved to Haiti, Port-au-Prince, and that's where I did my whole life. I grew up here in Port-au-Prince for 10 years. Then I moved back to Miami and went to North Miami Middle School in Miami, and I went to North Miami Senior High School. So that's where I was able to do my high school years and get comfortable and trying to get comfortable with the culture and all that stuff. So in my high school days, I was not really aware of different engineering program or different technical program because North Miami Senior High School it was pretty much like a bad school. So you don't really get much thing over there. So it's what you do. It's what you do.
Yeah.
It's what you get from it. So
Yeah,
um, so let's just say I graduated high school, move on to college. I went to Florida A&M University. I'm a Rattler. So when I went to that school, I saw a lot of different opportunities for my eyes. And my parents told me and my friend told me, if you want to have a lot of money or if you want to earn good money, you better study engineering. You know how Haitian be like, you study engineering or doctor or nursing or something,
yeah.
right?
It's one of those three: doctor, lawyer, engineering. One of those three.
One of those three, right?
Mhm,
So I ended up choosing computer science. I did computer science, and I realized that I was really behind in the material that I was learning in school. So my whole 4 years in college was pretty much a struggle. It was a struggle as far as that learning the concepts, the materials, because I went to high school, I didn't learn programming, right? I didn't learn programming, so when I came to college, they was doing programming, so I was not really advanced. So I ended up failing a bunch of classes and I had to retake them over and over again so that I could like get familiar with the materials that I was learning. So I spent 4 years, man, grind and work hard and study hard, and I ended up graduating from FAMU. And with my experience and all the stress that I had, I felt like I didn't want future rattlers or future college students to experience the same way I experienced all those hard work or trying to find resources for me to be able to excel in my career or in my major. So I graduated. Thank God I graduated. I got an offer to work with Lockheed Martin as a system engineer. So the height was for me to get a job. I really wanted to get a job. So when I got the job, I realized I have to find a purpose. So when I'm describing myself, it's really about my purpose. So like my purpose is to actually like create product that could change the world, that could provide some type of solution to the world, even though if it's big or small. That's my goal, and that's who I am. And then right now, I graduated, been working for Lockheed Martin for a year and a half now, and I recently launched my app called Seize It, and pretty much that's where my journey began and still going.
That's dope, man. That's dope. First of all, I didn't know you went to North Miami Senior High School, so that's a plus because I went there. I went there too.
See, the man, middle school
Yeah,
and senior.
Me too.
yeah. So I understand where you're coming from when you're talking about how it could be a little crazy, but
Right,
you got to stay focused. So I
right.
get that, but why choose Florida A&M? What was the reason behind that?
Man, to be honest with you, I didn't choose Florida A&M University. So
Oh,
in high school, me and my friends, not my just in high school, me and my friends, we just hang out all the time. We never spoke about college. Like me and my friend, we never once in my junior year spoke about college. We would just hang around, play basketball, and kick it on Sixth Ave, and just having fun with friends, right? So it's then I realized, I'm having fun. I'm not a bad person. I realized that I'm about to graduate high school. What's next? So I see a lot of my friends, my sister talking about going to college, and I'm like, I better step up and try to make it out there. So I ended up applying for Florida Memorial University, FMU, and
Okay.
I applied for FAMU. I really didn't know what I was doing. So FMU, I didn't even know if I got accepted to that school, but FAMU ended up the school that FAMU ended up the school that they didn't accept me. They accepted me to their summer bridge program. So I pretty much didn't have a choice. It was kind of late notice. I was going to graduate. I tried to get my grade up, trying to have a good GPA, and I applied to FAMU. And thank God I got accepted to the summer bridge program, but I didn't really get accepted to FAMU. I had to go through a program to pass 3 or 4 classes in order to get accepted to FAMU. So
Oh
that's how
wow.
I ended up being at Florida A&M University. So
Wow.
if it wasn't those classes, passing those classes, I probably would have a good chance of not making it to FAMU. You know,
That's
I went over
crazy.
there.
That's
I went over
crazy.
there. I grind hard. I did what I had to do, and your boy made it to FAMU for 2014.
That's that's dope. That's real dope. I didn't even know. I didn't even know a couple colleges even do that as far as like having a pre-program in order for you to
Right.
get accepted. That's real good. That helps out the students a lot. So we're gonna get more into the app that you were talking about that you're relaunching. So Robin, if you want to go ahead and start that off.
Yeah. What? Well, Alex, first of all, I'm surprised I never saw you when I was in North Miami. What year did
Yeah,
you graduate?
I was same.
Oh, so both went to North Miami.
Yeah. What year did you
I,
graduate?
I graduated 2014.
Dog, that means
Oh,
damn
2013.
2014. So
Yeah.
when
You wasn't there.
huh?
I don't think you was there. You wasn't there because
Because I
you
graduated in
10
2010.
class of 10. Yeah,
Okay.
so you're 14. So I'm 13. So you're the year behind me. I'm surprised I didn't see it.
That's crazy, kid. My boy was really quiet.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised, boy. He was like a real Haitian at school. Papa le hake moun pa ken zami, man.
The crazy thing is,
You know, all the Haitians be telling you, pa ken zami.
right? The crazy thing is, I came to middle school 6th grade, right? So when I went to Miami Middle School, I just came from Haiti and coming back to the state. We had this clique. We're always Haitians, those that just came from Haiti, or those that was in 5th grade or 4th grade. We all just clicked together in middle school. So that's how we grew up as a bond. And when we went to high school, we pretty much had our own little clique. So we didn't really have to like go out there and have friends because it was like
What
it was 20 of us.
was it? Was it Zopound?
No. It wasn't.
I was about to
But
say.
No, that was more my grade, Joe. That was more my grade. Those
Oh,
boys were in mines.
that
Zopan
was this.
got.
But for me, when I went to middle school, all of my friends, we didn't pretty much have a group, but like we didn't have a name, but pretty much we always vibe together. So
oh,
I
okay.
don't know if you heard of TZ. They had a Zo group and they had other name group. I also know them boys, so I grew up around them boys, but I was not really into this gang lifestyle. So I was just hang around, play ball, go to school, just do my thing. So, but I had a lot of
Okay.
friends. No man can get crazy. You guys know North
Yeah,
Miami.
Yeah.
yeah. It get crazy. It get
No,
crazy real quick.
you're gonna get checked, and I won't point of time you have to stand your ground. I won't point of time you get checked. You have to. Everybody done went through this lifestyle. But for me, I didn't let it get to my head. I never felt like I wanted to be a bad person. So for me,
Right.
I always find my good friends and hang around with them and just like stick to playing basketball and just do what I do on the side.
Right. That's what I was doing, man. I miss it. I miss it, dog. It was a
Yeah.
crazy 4 years, man, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, man. I had a great time. But yeah, Alex, dog, tell me like what developed your love for apps? When did you start developing that love for apps?
It started when I was in college. It started when I was in college. When I was going to graduate, I've had this feeling where I need to create something. I need to create
Hmm.
something so I could leave something behind. So I always thought like if I die, what I'm gonna put out there that's gonna outlive my lifestyle. So what's gonna be out there that's gonna be there for generation of generation. So
Hmm.
I always thinking like, what's an idea I could come up with? So I'll be driving around Tallahassee and I'm thinking like, okay, what can I do? And the idea for my app came up, and that's what started the passion for me creating this app. So
Hmm.
at first, I didn't have no experience with developing any application. Of course, I was a computer science major. We do a lot of programming, but
Right.
you have to really like have a focus on app development, in order for you to have the experience in creating applications, right? So
Yeah.
I had a little experience. So the fact that I was a computer science major, you know, I do a lot of programming, and I'm around friends that create game app, and you know, so I see how things work. So when I came up with this idea, I had the chance for me to sit down for me to learn everything myself to see how I'm gonna start this application. Because you know, creating an app or asking somebody to create an app for you, they're gonna charge you a lot of money. Like for you to create an app, they're gonna charge you a lot of money. So when I
Oh, I
realized,
heard.
yeah, when I realized that, I'm like, you know what, I'm probably gonna sit down and have to like do everything from scratch. So you know, I started working on it for about I had the idea for a year. You know, just writing my goals and down on paper, and pretty much like trying to see what's gonna be the scope of it all. So as times passed by, I really like sat down and actually trying to find a process to follow, because you know, the process I was following, it was just never getting done because I wanted to create an app. It was just me thinking on fly, trying to start writing code. I didn't have anything planned down. I just started writing code and like, let me create this app because I have the idea in my head. But I realized there's a process to follow. You know, write the goals down, write what's your targeted audience, and make sure that you're writing the different functionality that the app's going to be involved in. So when I start writing all those different parts down on paper, I really start having a good flow of how can I actually start this process of creating the app. So that's how I started, and I was in love with the process because I realized that the goal of the app is bigger than myself.
Right.
So pretty much like it's not even about me anymore. It's about all those college students going to college that's not gonna have enough resources for them to succeed in college. Because like one thing for me as a computer science major, they always tell me a psychology major, sociology major, a music major, they don't really have that much opportunity after college. They have to go get a master, get a PhD to actually have a good job, a good offer after college. And then I realized that, you know, there's different things that students not doing in college. So for example, for me, when I first started at FAMU, I go to class and come and go home. So by my junior year, I realized there's conferences, there's hackathon, there's organizations, there's 2-day trip you could take to different state to actually learn about different company. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, wait, hold on. There's a lot of different opportunities out there that students don't know about. Students just go to class and go home. But as a music or psychology major, if you really do your research, we have a lot of opportunity out there for you to make you unique yourself. You know, it's mostly about the story that you're creating for you. So like that's when I realized that instead of people saying like, you know, only engineering major make money, I realized that, you know what, people can make money in all different majors. It's pretty much how far you're gonna take it, how far you're gonna go for it to find those different opportunities. So I realized that this app gonna be an app where I'm gonna make sure that I have all those different opportunities out there for all different majors. So you know, it became bigger than myself, and I started reading a lot of books about different apps, so different books about motivation and about visions. And you know, I really sat down there and just start writing code and just start planning and creating this app. And of course, I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was hard. It was really hard. It was really hard where some stuff I couldn't do myself. I actually had people helping me. So it was not like a one-man job. I had help on the side. But at the end of the day, you know, like the fact that the goal was bigger than myself,
Yeah.
and I realized it was something that was purposeful and it was gonna help a lot of students. I really sat down there, actually like be disciplined enough to actually like find the real solution of how to create the whole application.
Right, right, dog. I'm telling you, man. I'm just listening.
Right.
I'm like, shit. I'm just taking all this in, man. Like a lot of information. I love it though, man. You
Yeah,
got a hell of a story, bro. I can't wait till you get on stage, man. You start telling some people about it, right, Joe? I just felt like I was in the middle of a man telling me a story, kid. Like I'm just a little kid sitting down. Like, go ahead, keep going. Tell me more. Like, yeah, but Alex, tell me how you came up with the name Season. Like, did you have to get a couple shots in you? Did you smoke a little bit? There's no way a nigga can somebody asks you, hey yo, what's the name of your app gonna be? Okay, Season. There ain't no way a nigga just pick that fast. How did you come up with that name? What's the story behind the Season name? Did you come up with that? Or did a friend just tell you, hey man, maybe you should be Season? I don't know, man. What's the story behind the
I came up with the name. So me working out, like, you know, I moved to Orlando working for Lockheed, and I'll go to work every day. And in my head, I'm like, you know, I don't really want to work for a company that actually, you know, they don't really looking for the potential that I have in myself. So as you know, me going to work, working on the app, sometimes when I'm working at work on the side, I start writing things down that's in my head, right? I have a little notebook, and then if I think something for the app, I write it down fast. So I brainstorm a lot at work. So at work, I realized that, I have to come up with a name for the app because I started creating it, but I never had a name. So, I started sitting down there thinking like, what are the different names that I could come up with? So I write a lot of different names down, and just it's just like I'm thinking like, okay, what's the name? How the name gonna connect with the application, or how is it gonna connect with students that's actually gonna use the application? And it's just like it just ended up being me writing down "seize it." I was looking at different words for 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 going after your vision, for being motivated. I was looking at different synonyms, and it just like "seize it" became the word I stumbled on. When I got "seize it," I'm like, you know what, this is gonna be the name for the app. And that's how it come up, man. And then the fact that seize it, I felt like it really defined what the application is about because you seizing the opportunities that the app have in there, right? So if you go to college, you go to school, you want to actually apply for different scholarships, have different internships. You have to seize those resources. You have to seize those opportunities for you to actually apply for them. Actually, like have those opportunity out there for you in the future, so that you could actually intern at a company or have a scholarship. So that's how the name came about.
Oh, I like it, man. And so if somebody downloads your app, does so you're saying it basically helps them like go get a scholarship to go to college? Is that?
So pretty much, if you download the app, the goal of the app is to help a student find all the resources that pertain to their major. So for example, I'm a computer science major. If I get on the app, I put that I go to Florida A&M University and I'm studying computer science. The app pretty much is there for you as a computer science major to give you all the resources that pertain to that major specifically. So for example, if you're looking for internships, right? Yeah. It's gonna give you internship in your major. Like like computer science, you're gonna find internships as a software engineer, system engineer, all those different positions. And then you have scholarships. Scholarship is pretty much general. We just like scholarships. You go out there, you find different scholarships for you in school. Because scholarships you cannot really tie it down to different major because a lot of students can apply for different scholarships. So pretty much the goal is to, if you go on the app, you find all the different resources. I put internship and job last because I want to focus on the different type of opportunity out there that student could actually follow to have credibility. So a lot of time, a student apply for a job for internships, they don't really get the internship. Why? Because they don't have a lot of experience on their resume, right? So and when they go when they go to an interview, they talk about the experience. They don't have that much experience, and the experience, like your story, create credibility. So as far as like, that's why I really wanted to put organization, conferences, info session, hackathon, these opportunities out there create credibility for you to have a job. So when you go to an interview, you say, okay, what's your experience? So now you have a story to tell. Even though you actually had a scholarship, or you went to a hackathon, or you went to a conference, there's a story behind it. Because you're not just gonna say I went to a conference. Well, what did you get at the conference? So now you're able to sit down and have the credibility to talk about your specific major.
Wow, man, I love it.
That's really good.
A lot of questions, Joe. You got a question?
No, the thing about it that I was gonna really dive into as far as the app. So you said it's all based on majors, and there is you're focusing on the internship and the apprenticeships last. Like that's the last thing. Right. So as far as like the work experience is, so they have the paid internship, the paid kinds, and the ones that are not paid. Right. Is that how you have it split up as, or?
Right. So I tried to put paid internships in there, and then there's also internship that's not paid, and a student could actually apply for them. So the app is pretty much it's still being built right now. So recently, right now I'm working on the next update for the app, right? And then the goal of the app, right? The goal of this next update, I'm trying to get curriculum in there for all majors. So I'm trying to make the app becomes an advisor / a career center at a college. Because a career center, you find all internship and jobs. An advisor points you to all the different classes that you have to take as a freshman, as a sophomore, as a junior. So I'm trying to make the app become these. Like I'm trying to make the app become an advisor and a career center. So like right now, I'm working on adding curriculum for all majors. So if you're a psychology major, instead of you going to your advisor to find out which classes to take, you could click the curriculum category and go to a link that provides you all the classes that you need for your 4 years of college. So this thing
that makes it easier. That makes life easy.
Because I know I didn't like my advisor. Who was on that boat? I didn't like my advisor. I filed back.
I still don't like my advisor.
I filed complaints about her. I didn't like her at all. Wow, man. You was very smart, Alex, because this generation is very, very into technology, and your app is. If they see it, if they seize it, like you said, and they see it, man, and they tell their friends and they tell their parents about it, man. But Alex, I know building this app, you had to do a lot of groundwork. So like, walk me through the process. Like, if I want to start an app, what's the first thing that I'm supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to get a mentor or something, or am I supposed to save up some money? Like walk me through the process.
You probably need a mentor as far as creating an app, but you probably don't at the same time. So my experience creating an app, right? My first process was all over the place. I started creating, like I told you, I started creating code, writing code down, and trying to create different things, and it wasn't going really, really well. So the process of creating an app right now, the first thing to do is write your idea down on paper, right? You have an idea, you write it down on paper, and you trying to find if you could create a solution for a problem. First, you have to realize, do you have a problem? And second, do you have a solution for that problem? Because you don't want to create an app, you just create an app just to create the app, and then it's not solving anybody's problems, right? You make sure that there's a problem, and then you have a solution for it. And then you after that, you figure out who's your audience, right? Who's going to be your target audience? After you figure out, okay, I want to create an app, I have an idea, okay, are you solving the problem? Okay, what is the problem, and what's the solution that the app going to solve the problem? How is the app going to solve the problem? And when you have those two answered, then you go on to what's your audience? Who's going to be your targeted audience, right? So, because you could have different targeted audiences. My audience is students. People could have different audiences. You could have celebrity audience. You could have church audience. You could actually target different audience. And when you have all that down, you start writing down. The next step is having a mock-up of actually what's the beginning of the app and what's the end of the app. What do you want it to do? When a user uses the app, what's the person going to do in the app? And at the end, what's going to be the outcome at the end of the app? So all these things, you make sure it's on paper. You don't go on your computer. You don't go try to create different code. You don't go try to download different software to create different mock-up. You write all this thing down on paper. And if you can, you draw a screen from the beginning to the end on the paper of how it looks like, right? So how the homepage is going to look like, and when the user log in, what they want to see. After they log in, what's the different functionality that's going to be in the app. You write it down on paper, you try to draw it on paper. Once you have all that, then you could move on to a software like a software that you could create a mock-up, right? You go to a software, you could actually design it yourself, where this software is friendly use. It's friendly. You could click button, grab text field, and you put it down on there, and you try to see what's the app gonna look like, right? It's a dummy version. It's not really like a software that's gonna create the app for you. Pretty much a software that uses it as a rough draft, right? You have a mock-up where you start the app. How is it gonna go from the start, and how is it gonna go to the end? So once you have all these things down, you make sure the process get longer, right? Once you have all these things down, you have to make sure it makes sense. You have to make sure it makes sense. You have to make sure okay, what's the user gonna click? What button they're gonna click from the first page to go to the second page, to go to the third page, to go to the fourth page, to see how it's gonna transition, right? You wanna know how is the app gonna transition and flow. And once you have all that down, you move on to actually creating the design of the app, right? You create the design of the app, and this could get really technical where you create a design, because you have to actually write the code to create the design of the app. And it gets really intricate. You really have to have experience for that. Like for me right now, my app is out there. I'm proud of it, but I have a lot of different things that I need to make sure that I update from the app. There's a lot of mistake in there. Because I'm a person, I'm by myself, and I have some people that's helping me. Everything has to be perfect. And if someone were to be experienced for 10, 17 years, they're gonna look at the app, they're gonna be like, okay, there's some flaws in the app. But the goal is to actually continue, your first release not gonna be the best release. Your first release is pretty much out there to see how the audience feel about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you create the design, you make sure you have front end and back end. So the front end is pretty much like you're creating the design of the app. You're creating how, like the front end is pretty much like soft. You're not doing anything with data. You're creating your app. You're making sure like you have your screen, you have your button, you formulating all the application process. And the back end is pretty much like you go into details of the database. If you're gonna have a database, what's the database going to be like? How is it going to flow? What type of database that you're going to use? And after you figure out the front and back end, you have to connect both of them. So once you figure it out, you have to connect both of them. How is the application going to connect with the back end? How is data going to flow to the applications? And then the process gets deeper. And as far as for me, I'm still learning. So I run through a lot of different troubles, right? And I have to reach out to people that's more technical than me, that provide me more details that help me. So I'm still on a learning experience as well. But this is the process I've been following ever since I started the application process.
Yeah, well, shit, you know a lot more than me. I'm just listening to the thing, and I'm like, oh, this shit sound like Chinese, kid. Like,
Yeah, it's a process.
You just lost me. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah, it's a process. But so as far as the app, where did you launch it to? Is it only in FAM? Is it in Florida? Is it like in the local area as far as like community college? Like, to which schools did you launch those apps to?
So right now the application has two schools. I have Florida A&M University, and I have Valencia College, which is in Orlando. So Florida A&M is in Tallahassee, and Valencia College is in Orlando. The reason why I picked those two schools is because I actually graduated from FAMU. There's a lot of different resources. Like, when I launch it, I have a lot of friends that actually go to FAMU, or professors that go to FAMU that will actually help me promote or get the word out there, or they would give me some advice on, okay, you know what, that's what you need to do next. So I have connection at FAMU. So I am able to release the app with FAMU first because, I get to actually have this personal connection with people that I already know. And I launched it with Valencia College because I'm in Orlando right now working. So I could easily go to, like, before I was creating the app, I went to there's 6 or 7 different campuses of Valencia and Orlando. So I spent a lot of time going to the different campuses and talking to students. So I would just go and talk to advising students. Okay, how would you feel? How would that, if you have this app, how would it help students? So, communicating with students and get a different feel of how they feel about the app and the idea of it. So that's why I chose Valencia College, because I could go out there. Right now, COVID, I really can't go to campus and talk to students. People was not out there anymore. Before COVID, I had the chance to go to different campuses and talk to different students and advisors. So the next school I have in mind is actually UCF, which is in Orlando. That's
that would be great. That would be a big time move if you did that. Yeah.
And I actually looking to add FSU.
Yeah. See.
So it's actually a lot of work. I'm sure like in the future I'm gonna find a more efficient way to do what I'm doing right now. But the fact that I don't have a big team with me, it's really hard on how to actually get the school out there. So if I could have released 10 schools today, I would release 10 schools, and I would have more user on my application. That's actually showing traffic and people actually using the application. So I released it to FAMU in Valencia. Only those students could use the applications. So once I release UCF or FSU or even more school, I'm gonna have a lot more users actually using the applications. And if I release it to other states, even way more users are gonna be using the applications.
Right, I'm with you, Alex. The groundwork that you're saying that you gotta do, the groundwork that you're saying that you're doing, it just sounds very similar to what I'm doing right now with the podcast. When I first started, it was me and my my best homeboy, and then he dropped because he got a little busy with his own life. And then my brother came in. And he was like, "Yo, I got you." Oh man, hold on, I gotta get this girl. Hold up.
And, it's good to have a team. You guys together on this. You guys doing this podcast, helping each other out. It's good to have a team because you guys could delegate tasks. I actually learned that from a friend because creating the app, Freddie told me, Alex, you have to delegate tasking. You have to delegate tasks. No matter how much you want to work hard by yourself, you're gonna have to delegate. And then learn that.
Because I mean, as much as what and how you want everything to go, it's gonna make life so much easier when you could just rely on hopefully you could rely on somebody to get that part done that you wanted to get finished, so then you could just combine it, and then it makes you focus on whatever that smaller part of that task is 10 times as harder as it was before. Then you'll see minor mistakes that you're like, oh man, I almost messed up on this, but had I had to do the whole thing, I wouldn't have seen this, because I would have blown through it, because I would have realized, man, I got to do all of this. So now having two people generating different ideas, thinking about different things, meeting different people, then maybe he knows somebody that could help you, and you know somebody that can help him, and that's the whole thing. You try to get everybody involved to where we all can mesh in this thing together, and hopefully make a beautiful cause that could help people and strive for greatness as much as possible. Like, that's the whole point.
Right, that's the goal. That's the goal. And this is why right now, for me, instead of actually getting a lot of things done, I'm really trying to figure out a team that I could have that's gonna help me to get the task done. Because right now I have a lot of different small things that I probably don't have to worry about it. Because if I have people that could help me, they would knock it out easily, and I could actually focus on other things that's more technical, or other things that I could actually put more in the app. Brainstorming more ideas, and actually, what's gonna be in the next update. There's a lot of things to think of. That's why I say like this app is bigger than myself, because it has a lot of potentials. A lot of students will actually they would desperately need this app. But the fact that, right now, I don't have a strong team behind me, it's the solution, or the promoting aspect of it is not really out there. But, I believe it's going to work. It's just, it's the grind. It's the grind. And, like you said, starting this podcast, we had some, groundwork to do it. And that's what I'm doing right now for my app.
Yeah, because your app right now, it's a wonderful, wonderful idea. I think throughout all different collegiate levels, like, they would love this app to help them navigate through school, from being a freshman to even a senior, as far as like talking to advisors, as far as getting their classes, knowing what they need in order to graduate. So if you can get a team and hopefully push it where it needs to be pushed, this thing, I don't see why it can't,
Right.
be all over. I don't see why not. It's a great idea. It's a great app.
It's just, I have to keep grinding. And another thing is, like, high school seniors will even benefit from this app more than a lot of other students, because high school seniors, they want to go to a different school, they get accepted to different universities, but they don't really know what's out there in those universities. Being able to have the comfort and the flexibility to go on the app, I'm going to Howard, I'm going to Atlanta University, and you be able to go on the app and actually like see what different resources your major provide. It's amazing. And the whole process of creating an app is being able to sit down and be like, what, I'm gonna have comfort to know that my major, because you're going to 4 years, you don't really know if you want to do this major. A lot of students, they pick their major, they don't really know if that's what they want to do, and the app just provides just a little bit more information of what your major is about, and what you didn't know, now you would know, and then now in the future, or if you ever think of switching major, you really know why you want to switch major, so you have a really good reason of why you want to switch. And if you don't want to switch, you really see, this app really show you like what's your future going to be like. So another thing I want to add in this app is, once you choose your school and you choose your major, it provides you different videos of different positions that your major includes. So for example, if I am a business major, right? You choose MU and you business major. When you click next, it provides you all the different type of positions you could work in the future when you graduate. So it was like, we said, okay, click play for accounting, for financial advisor, for data analysis. You get to see the videos of people actually in that field explaining those different positions. And then, that's another thing, as a high school seniors or college students, you see these things, you really know what your major is about. You're not going into a deep end and not knowing exactly what you're doing. Because when I was in college, a lot of my friends, they tell me, like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just in college, and actually I have this major that I chose. I'm just going to school. And you don't really want to.
Going through the motions.
Yep.
Right.
Going through the motions. I don't know. I don't know how people could do that. Like, you gotta. I mean, I understand it as far as like when you're starting off, because you're in college. There's distractions. There's a whole lot of things going on. There's different parties. There's different events. There's just a whole new era for you to engage in, and you're everywhere and you want to be a part of this, you want to be a part of that, you want to go to this, you want to go to that, you want to see this, you want to see that. So after that experience goes through, then that's when I think you should find it. Probably, I mean, if you're focused enough freshman year, then you're focused. You know, that's you did a good job. You passed that. But freshman year is normally the fuck up year. That's just guaranteed. That's just it is what it is. It's the freshman 15. You either gaining 15 pounds or you're on academic probation. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. You're gaining 15 pounds and you're on academic probation. It's one of the two. So once you pass that, then sophomore year kick in. Now you want to get into okay, I need to buckle down. Let me see my grades. Oh damn, okay, focus. Right? Junior year, focus. Senior year hit. At that point right there, you should know, okay, this is the major or not. I feel like senior year, you should know if this is the major or not.
Right. And that's for me choosing computer science. I really didn't like. People will ask me, why did you choose computer science? I'm like, I don't know, man. I want a good job after college. Like, I never understood.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's a
right. But after I've been in the program, actually, right now, I understand. Like, I would never change it. I actually would go back to school and do computer science because you have so much room for you to be in, like, for you to create something or be innovative. Like, you could actually sit down there, think of something, and create it. Like, if you actually, like, you know, someone that have discipline, you can actually, like, come up with an idea and you go on your computer, you start creating it. And honestly, bro, I entered with NASA when I was a sophomore or a junior in college. And then when I was interning there, I would walk out the building and I look around, I see that they work on a platform on different rockets, and I'm like, yo, all these things started with an idea. Like, everything in the world started with an idea. It's somebody that just had an idea, like, you know, let me just create this. And I'm like, man, I got me messed up if I can't think of an idea and actually create. I get mad, bro. I was working and in turn, I get mad and pissed. I'm like, bro, this guy, they really have an idea and actually made it happen, and they successful. I'm like, why can't I do that myself? Like, I don't care if it's big or small. I'm like, you're not gonna doubt me. I'm like, I got me messed up. I'm finna go create. I'm finna create it and make it come, like, you know, make it come, like, into life, you know. So it's a matter of how you think. Because right now, you know, like, in the next 5 years, people are gonna be creating applications. People are gonna create different things. Yeah. So are you gonna be in the process of you watching people create anything, or are you gonna yourself create something yourself, or be a part of the process of creating something? And that's where I stand. I really wanna create something where it's actually helping generation of generations.
Right. And Alex, there was earlier you kept on saying code. Can you, like, elaborate on that for, like, people that don't understand? Like, what do you mean by, like, code? Like, how do you do that?
So pretty much like coding and just programming. So first of all, as far as coding, right? Mm-hmm. On TV, you see there's all this different type of language you don't understand. So code, there's different programming languages, right? Uh-huh. So if you go to school, if you want to learn coding, right? First you have to know that there's different programming languages. So if you want to learn a code, there's C++. That's the one programming languages. And then there's Java. There's Python. You know, there's C programming. So there's different programming languages to write code.
No, I only know two of them that you just named: Java and C programming. Those are the only two I know. Java. That's it.
Java's the one with the little mug with the coffee.
Yeah, right? With the little coffee stain. There you go. That's the same one. Yeah, that's the one I know too.
That's serious.
And honestly, man, in college, I was not the best at coding, because, like I said, in high school I didn't have the experience. So a lot of people in college, you know, these guys coded in high school. So coming into college, bro, like, I failed my programming classes several times. It's like knowing, like, you know, there's different programming languages, and each programming language have their own syntax. So syntax, you know, you don't write the same codes for every programming languages. So for example, right, if you're writing in C++, I don't want to get technical, but if you're writing in C++, there's different syntax you use, right? So if you're inputting information and outputting information, it's not the same way you do it in C++ as well as when you do it in Java. Both of them are different. So, like, if I were to say, like, you know, let me put Robin, right? Let me write Robin into a code. I want the computer to actually input Robin, right? Mm-hmm. You're not gonna write the same code in C++ as you're gonna write it in Java. if you're gonna output Robin, you're not gonna output it the same way in C++ that you can output it in Java. So like, you know, if you're someone that actually want to learn coding, there's a lot of different websites that actually talk about it more in details. But you know, the most idea of it is pretty much like you actually making the computer do something. So you pretty much like writing code and telling the computer what it needs to create. So if I want the computer to put out a menu of, let's say I have a restaurant, I want the code to put out a list of menu, I write a code, I make the computer output that information for me. And you know, you could do a lot of different things with coding. Like right now everything has coding in it, right? If you go in your computer, every application uses coding. You know, and if there's different TV or your AC systems, everything is some type of coding into it, right? Wow. So the overall idea of coding is pretty much like, you know, there's different programming languages you could use, and you know, depending on which one you use, it gets harder and harder. So Python, you know, Python is it's not bad. It's pretty much like it's easier than C++, right? Python is easier than C++, and you know, and I can't explain what each languages mean because, you know, I wasn't the one that created. But like if you go and search Python and C++ and Java, if you go search this, like this Dart, this new programming language called Dart. If you go search that, you know, like there's different things you could do programming. If it's when I want to create something, I want to write code, I'd recommend you, you know, search on YouTube and watch different beginner videos as far as how to code.
Wow, man. Just listening to you now, I understand it, because I would see code on TV and people talking about it. They're like, man, if you understand coding, you can make a lot of money. And I just didn't understand it. Just listening to you just explain it, it makes sense. Like you basically give a computer a language, like right. Its own language and what it can do and what it can't do. I get it. I get it now.
And you know, like it does a lot of different things. A lot of time in movies, you see all this complicated coding thing. And even in college, you learn different programming languages, and it gets really hard. And when you're working, it's actually the most easiest. It's not the most easiest thing to do, but it doesn't seem as hard as it seems in college. Like in college, I was learning programming. I have different projects where I had to learn how to do a lot of different things. Like I had to learn like how to create, how to write code for, like let's say an airplane, right? When you have an airplane coming in, you have different time for Delta, for American Airlines. There's different programming languages that actually put all this thing into a queue, and then like you write a code to make sure like all of them coming in exactly the right time this was to come in. You know, it gets really complicated. And then at work, I'm sitting down there, I'm like, okay, what do I do? And you're like, oh, just troubleshoot, just look at this code and change it. Like let's say right now, if a code not working, right? If we, like it's simply you could have a semicolon, like you could have like a what you call this? You could have a forward slash, a backslash. It could stop the code from working. But if you understand the foundation, you could actually know. Like you don't really know, for you to actually work as a software engineer or work as someone that actually is troubleshooting code, you don't really have to really know how to code. You need to know the foundation and the basics. If you know the basics, you can sit down and look at the code and see what is it doing. You probably wouldn't know how to write it from scratch, but you can see what is it doing. And if something looked wrong, if you know the syntax of what you're reading, you can actually fix that code.
I got you, man. Yeah. Joe, you had a question too?
No, I was just saying that's just dope. Like that's all those coding information is. I just learned something new today. So I never knew about coding at all. Right. I knew just those two things. That was it. Didn't really know much about coding.
And for me, as far as like coding, like I remember I had a friend. He was taking C programming in college, and he wanted to know how to do those different projects. And I'm not really a person. I'm like, yo, I can't teach you how to code, because even me right now in college, I was struggling learning how to code. But when I looked at his project, you know, even though I felt like I wasn't good at coding, I looked at the project. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And you just pretty much like, you know, you go on Google, you find most of your answers on Google. Like, of course, it's not going to be exact the same thing. But let's say, for example, believe it or not, at work, like, I'd be like, I don't know how to do something. They would tell me, like, go Google it. And when you actually go to Google, you find the answer. You just have to know how to tweak it. So coding, you know, if you really want to, like, go down the path of learning how to code or be a software engineer, you know, go for it. You know, it's not as hard as it seems, because once you start working in the corporate world, they're gonna tell you you better know how to Google what you're trying to find. That's what they're gonna tell you. You Google it, you find it, and you tweak it.
Yeah, they like that for real, man. Oh, that's crazy, man. Because I remember a couple episodes like a while back with Joe, when when he first got on the podcast, I was saying, man, like, yo, we like I told him this idea because I like your app idea, dog. I got to get some things together because we could possibly be partners. Joe, remember how I was telling you somebody putting on virtual reality goggles and actually going in, like, dog, that would even help you out even more with your app. Like, that's crazy because I was speaking that, but I got to understand what I'm doing so I could put something into the table for you, man, because I love your idea. Like, how many kids you will save us so much money? I'm $160,000 in debt right now, dog. Going to school, and I'm a family studies and human services major.
Oh, Lord,
it's crazy, man. And I couldn't find a job that paid me nowhere near that, not even 50,000. Yeah. Like, it's shit now. Now I'm just in a hospital doing some equipment job, but it's not forever for me, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and for you to actually like recognize that, that's the first thing. You recognize, like, like you actually like people actually have a hard time going to college and actually like understanding what exactly they're trying to get out of their major, and different major. I don't know, different major provide different type of jobs, but having the opportunity in front of you to actually see what type of job in front of you, we probably would have planned way earlier to see it. What's the outcome for you? What are you gonna actually choose to do for the future?
My dad already know. If you tell a Haitian, c'est ça va la point. Your dad would tell you, ça va bon. That was my dad's reaction. That was my dad's reaction, Alex. So my dad gave me the answer years ago, but I didn't listen because I thought he was just talking shit. You know how Haitians just be talking shit. No. O fazer, just talking up that shit, man. And so you like, no, man, you just don't believe in me. But my dad, I don't know where he did his research. He just knew in my field I wasn't gonna make that much money.
Why did you choose that major though? Because a lot of people, even though they know it's not gonna be a lot of money, they actually have a reason why they want the major. They have pretty much like a purpose behind it. What was your purpose of actually choosing that major?
Just because I'm good with people. I understand people. Man, people will tell me things that I never asked them. Like, I have a gift with people. People release information to me.
Yeah, he do.
I just have a gift. I connect with people.
He has a gift. I don't know what it is, but anybody that want to talk to him for some reason,
everybody wants to talk to me, dog. Even the weirdest people, it's just a gift. And so I thought, because I was trying to go into marriage and family therapy, but I didn't like how, Alex, they tell you have to basically be a therapist under their rules. You got to do it in their style. And it's like, yo, I just went to school for how many years because they were telling me what to do. I learned what they told me to do. And now I'm thinking, okay, now I can do what they told me to do, but in my own way. But just to find out, you still didn't get out of that little trap. You still got to do what other people were telling you to do. But this time you're educated on it. So now you really have to no. Like, I peep game. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. If I can't be a therapist the way I want to be a therapist, then that's when I realized I failed, man. I was like, damn, my dad was right. My mom was right, kid. I gave him over that lame, kid. I was like,
I mean, there's certain things, you have to have some kind of structure, some kind of way back to square one if you get lost or you get into some trouble, right? So you always got to have a foundation. So, I mean, probably that's what they meant by you have to follow their umbrella. Maybe if you talk to them a little bit more, you could have figured out, like, you could have had your own way. Maybe you even talked to them, you just left. Like, no, you doing this. All right, I'm good. Bye. Like, come on, at least go a little deeper and figure out, like, maybe, something.
Probably He's like,
He just wanted to leave.
he just said, and at the time I was talking to him about my purpose. I'm like, I'm good with people. I don't care about the money. I'm good with people. That's what I'm going to. But my dad was like, no, c'est pas ça, faut garder, ou pas faire comme même, ou pas faire comme, you know. My dad probably was going in, kid, like.
Yeah, that was it.
He was right.
He was like, you can't. He said, you can't even make $50,000 a year for me. 50.
Ça est là. C'est que dans là, pas.
I don't even know how they know that you have to get a major.
How do they know that?
Like, these Haitians are smart. These old school Haitians are smart, man. Like, my dad, he'd be like, I'm very, very smart. My dad always saying that. Intelligent. You know what I mean? I'm letting all the Haitian lingo out. I'm sorry for my viewers if they don't understand what I'm saying, man. But shit, I can't help myself. I can't help myself, dog. It's just the only way you could feel me. You could be in my shoes at that moment. But Alex, how much money do you need to save up to even start the process, or maybe you don't need any money at all and you could just start it, and maybe you can go up in front of Shark Tank or something? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
Actually, if you present that to Shark Tank, I don't see why not. They'll actually launch that. You may want to go ahead and try to bring that to Shark Tank. Because that is a good idea. You need to get it patented.
I actually thought about it, but it's just like I don't know. When I watch the Shark Thing, you know, people seem to always have some type of revenue streams. You know, like they make that much money from their business, so like they're able to talk numbers. You know, I don't have pretty much data to show Shark Tank right now. You know?
You do have numbers. It's called users. It's called viewership.
Right.
So you do have numbers.
I probably have to think about it some more, man. I actually
see, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than numbers. If you have viewers, they could possibly change it into something. They might tweak it a way. You don't want them to tweak it too much because it's still your app, but they could tweak it to some kind of way where you could present it all over.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I truly believe, like, if I actually go to Shark Tank, if they actually decide to go with the idea with the app, it's an app that's actually gonna be up there with LinkedIn and Handshake. Because Handshake, I don't know if you guys know the app named Handshake. Mm-hmm. Handshake provide jobs to students and internships. So if you use Handshake, you could find any interested in jobs, or even you could find on campus interviews for your majors. They provide that type of thing, right? And LinkedIn provide, it's a professional platform.
Platform, yeah.
LinkedIn
is kind of. LinkedIn already reached his length, to be honest.
And that's the crazy thing. When I was creating the app, I looked at this platform. They provide a limited amount of information for students. That's why when I thought about it, I'm like, what if I have different resources for students? So, they're providing jobs and interests, right? But do they really care about the credibility of how the students can actually get the job? They don't really care. They just, create an app, have a system, have a platform where students are gonna find interest in jobs. And it's an amazing platform because it's helping a lot of people. And I'm like, what if I create an app that has everything in there? You don't really need to go there for interest in job. You could go for everything. You like you find curriculum, scholarship, info session, conferences. I'm like, if LinkedIn and Handshake have that idea, bro, they could replicate that idea, and I promise you, they will make a lot of money because they're already performing at such a high level. And having that idea, they could tweak it, in 2 or 3 months, they will make billions and millions of dollars. Because that's a good idea. If they have it, they already have a platform for different universities and students. They're gonna easily make money out of it. A lot of people ask me, like, what would you do if LinkedIn trying to buy your application? What would you do if a company trying to buy you out? I'm like, I don't really know. Hey, I'm broke. So imagine they come to me and say, I'm gonna give you $1 million, something like that. Imagine they say, I'm gonna give you $20 million for your app. What would y'all boys do?
Nah, man.
I ain't selling it because if you think about it, if it's worth $20 million now, think about when you fully develop it and you reach your potential, how much are you gonna actually earn from that?
I'm not giving it to him, Alex.
That's artists. Imagine the amount of I'm taking that much time to actually create a whole product that's not even done yet. Imagine if they actually replicate the idea and create the product in just 2 or 3 months. Then they could have that a platform just like mine, making billions of dollars. And of course, the only thing they don't have is my brain. They don't really know the idea that I have for the app. They don't know the end goal or the biggest goal for the app. So they could.
But if they buy it, it's pretty much they don't. If they buy it, they're not caring about your mindset of the app anymore. At that point, it's what they want because they just bought it from you. You just need to get. If they buy from you, you better ask for some stake, some equity, something out of that. Like you need some of that. You need more of that 20 million. You need more of that. That's and true. Come up with another app, and then there goes more bread. Now you're a millionaire. Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Also, so Alex, I don't know if you did answer the question. Do you need any money to start?
So it really depends. If you have no programming experience, bro, honestly, you probably need money to start. Because and then if you're actually gonna pay people to create the app for you, they're gonna charge you a lot of money. When I was starting, right, I was really looking down that route to have people that's helping me. Mm-hmm. And somebody tell me like, yo, you're not trying to create an app, you're trying to create a search engine. It's like they really told me in my face, like, how are you trying to create an application that have so many different things involved in it? It's just like one thing could become an app. Like, job internship is an app for LinkedIn. I have that in my app. You have an app called Scholarly. It's just for scholarship, and I have that in my app. The guy told me like, yo, you're trying to create a search engine. If you're trying to create that, it's $80,000 to create this application. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what? I'm like,
what?
I'm like, I understand where you're coming from. That actually discouraged me because I'm like, yo, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to begin. And then they telling me I have to pay $80,000 for an application. And then I actually talked to other people. They're telling me like, $50,000. It's a lot of money to create an app. So for me, the route that I went through, the fact that I have some programming experience, I was able to lay it out. I lay out the whole thing, and I understand. Another thing, with creating an app, you have to understand what does the functionality doing. So if you have like a different category, you're clicking, and you actually have different link that the app bringing you to, you have to know how it works. You have to know how this code works. And once you know how it works, and you actually know how to actually code it, then you have an experience. So if you go talk with someone, right, as a software engineer, you go work with them, and they're like, you know what, I'm charging you that much money. And you're like, okay, what's the budget? And he's like, okay, what's the work? How many hours they're gonna spend creating an app for you? Now they're gonna tell you, no, this is gonna take 2 weeks or 3 days or 5 days. And then if you actually know how does the functionality works, let's say I'm trying to put scholarship on my app, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have a link. All I'm doing is putting the link on my app, and I have to write a code where if the user click that link, that link fetch and go to a different website that's outside the application, and you could go on a link on a website and you see the scholarship, right? Yes. If you know how it works, if you know how to code that, right, then you have an idea. So if you go talk to a software engineer, you're like, I'm charging you that much money to create this for you, and then they actually charging you a lot of money, you're like, you know what, this is not true. That's how it works. And then they know you don't have experience, so they probably know you're not gonna talk about that. So for me, when I got to a part of my app where I couldn't do myself, I started doing different information, different research. I have a team, it's called the App Moguls. It's a bunch of people that's in the team, people that have no experience, they're trying to create app, right? So they have different ideas, they're trying to create app. And there's this guy, he's a 6-7 figure person that have a lot of app in his portfolio. So he pretty much like guide us and trying to help us. If you're trying to reach out to different people to help you create an app, they're what you need to know. As far as like the budget, as far as like the information you need to have, he pretty much like guide us on what we need. So I actually went through that process because I got to a position in my app where I was stuck. So I actually got to that process. The fact that I started creating that myself, and I had a layout set already for me. When I was talking with an software engineer that's like 17 years experience, I was able to tell him, like, I've created this. It was okay, send me the information. Now he's able to see that, okay, this app is already done because this guy already created from end to finish. So what do I need you to do there? Okay, I need you to do this. How much are you gonna charge me? Okay, I need you to charge me $300. It gets cheaper when you actually have much of the work done. They actually going in front of them. It's like, okay, I have an idea. How can you help me? And they're gonna ask, where the money at? it's really crazy, man. That's why a lot of people are not. That's why a lot of people like they have a lot of wonderful ideas, but they never actually execute it because it takes a lot of money to create an applications, and it takes a lot of time to go sit down and learn how to code before you can create the application. It's gonna take a long time for you to create a app that fully work perfectly. It's gonna take a lot of time. So that's why it's a dead end because you don't know how to code. You're not gonna pay a lot of money to create an app, so it's a dead end. So it's either like you have to actually have different resources that you can reach out to. Like, as far as for me, I was lucky enough, to find someone in the Orlando area. If I need help with something, he's way more technical than me, have way more experience. He could guide me, he could guide me. And I built a relationship with him where it's not just like a customer, it's not a client or I'm paying you, we have a bond. And I'm really sitting down there, talking about the ideas, the end goal, the purpose of it. And, I feel like I was lucky in that way. But certain other people, man, in the team, other people in my team in the app mobile group, they are paying a lot of money to create an app, and some of them actually learning how to code in the process, because, if you want to, we have different resources that could help you to start knowing what you need to know to actually create an app. Like I told you, there's a process you need to follow, and, you're going to have to sit there, you're going to have a lot of patience to look at your computer and reading code that you do not understand. And you have to teach yourself how to write these things down. You have to teach yourself, okay, what are they doing? How can I bring a simulator on my computer to start coding, to start coding whatever you do? You see that the simulator creating the button for you, it's creating the text field for you, it's creating all this stack queues for you. It gets complicated. So if you really want to pay someone for an app, you have to have a lot of money. You have to have a lot of money.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm gonna tell you this. If you're trying to create an app from scratch right now, if you find somebody with a good pricing, and you could do a fixed price, or you could do where you pay a price for designs or for backend or for a database. You could like break it apart to pay different part. Or if you're trying to do a fixed price, let's say you're trying to create an app for $30,000. The person asks you, okay, give me $30,000, I create an app for you. Or let's say, you know what, I'm not trying to create the app and just like one way, show me the design. Show me the design. And he'd be like, okay, give me $300 for the design. That's how much it costs. Then he's gonna create the design for you, and then you pay him. And there's different websites. Like there's a website called Upwork.com. So in Upwork.com, you have different web developers and app developers that actually they freelancers. They create app for people. So when you talk to them and you actually go into the process, they're not really gonna steal your ideas. So that's my own experience. A lot of people worry, what if they steal my ideas? They're not trying to steal your ideas. They're trying to get paid. So if you, when you pay them, you don't get paid automatically. When you pay them, you go on escrow. The money's still on escrow. And once they get the work done, if you're not satisfied, they don't get paid until you're satisfied. Let's say you're trying to create an app, and then let's say the front page, you don't like the way it look retarded. You don't like the design. It's like, I'm not gonna pay you. You have to tweak it. You could, can you tweak it? I'm not gonna pay you. Okay, you guys say, okay, what do you need? What do you need? What do you see? How do you want it to be? And you start explaining, okay, that's how I'm looking for it. You're like, okay, give me an example. Let's say you go on LinkedIn, you find LinkedIn sign-in page, right? You know what? I want it to look like this, but tweak it so that it could look like my work. That's how I want it to be placed. Okay, cool. You go back and do the work, and it's after you're satisfied with what he do, right? And that's when you release that money from escrow and you pay him, and that's how you get his money. So let's say you design is $300. Back in, let's say if you're writing a code, right? If they're writing the code for you, and the database is, let's say it's $600. And then let's say if you have different, let's say you want to create a website to link to the application, that's fine. It could cost a lot of money. You see, that's why a lot of people, it's a dead end. They're not gonna take the time to actually spend the time to create the app. A lot of people call me and talk to me, you know what, I love your ideas. I have an idea to create an app. Can we partner up? I'm like, sure. And you're like, okay, cool. If we're gonna partner, what are we gonna do? It's just like, okay, I can't do everything for you because I'm not experienced enough. If you want to partner with me, we're gonna just be grinding from ground zero, learning from scratch how to do these things. Mm-hmm. Instead, you could go pay someone and they could get it done for you in 2-3 months. I'm going through a process right now where I'm grinding, have discipline, have patience, and actually following and being consistent to get things done. And I'm enjoying the process. That's my story to tell, right? As far as someone that want to create an app for 3 months, you go pay someone to create the app for you because they experience enough to create the app, and you have to pay a lot of money to create the app. So it takes a lot of patience and discipline to sit down and just tell yourself you're going through the process by yourself.
Yeah, I love the story, man. I just was listening to you grinding. Like I said it before I had to leave because of my daughter coming in the room. It's like how it is with the podcast, man. My first thought it was me and my best homeboy, and then he dropped off, and then now it's just me and my brother, and it's crazy. The process in the beginning, it takes a minute for people to even recognize what you're doing.
Right.
It takes a minute, but at the end of the day, it's worth it, man. The process is why I'm doing this. It's the process. It's the grind. It's just unlocking talents and skills that you thought you never even had. I bet you didn't even think you could research as well as you are now. Like with this app, all the research you got to do. When you told me this guy was like, oh, $300, you're like, twice on the lot for something? What? Damn. Yeah, that made me that made my heart fall, kid. I'm like, what? To tweak up my desk twice on the lot? What? No, oh my God, man. Like, but it's the grind, man. I respect the grind. Like, I have something for you, man. I have to get a little further in my process, but I'm definitely gonna holler at you, dog. I'm gonna be one of those partners because I've had an app idea too, and it deals with man, it's dealing with.
I forgot your app idea. I forgot it. I don't remember it. I forgot what it was.
I'm telling you, dog. I'm all over the place, man. I'm a real entrepreneur at heart, dog. I swear, man. Like my mind doesn't stop, Alex, and make sure your mind don't stop either, man.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing, bro. Because you don't have the experience, but you're willing, bro. And you sit there every day. You waking up and you still thinking. You're still trying to brainstorm to create something. Because we're always trying to like give our parent a better lifestyle, because
damn right.
That's what
they actually work hard for us. We actually don't know. We actually don't know the type of like want your plan, more, to actually just help a lot.
What?
So,
man?
What?
Misère, your boss. Misère. What?
At the end of the day, bro, it's just like it's for them, and you trying to, even though you don't know how it's gonna work out, you don't know how it's gonna turn out, but you feel like things just looking like dead end because you're in the process by yourself, or you don't really know who to go to ask for information. Mm-hmm. The process is still worth it because once you make it, bro, you have a beautiful story to tell. And in your podcast, you're actually recording it, and that's actually artifacts. That's actually like evidence in the future when you guys actually go forward with the podcast. This is how far we went. This years we've been actually interviewing people that's actually trying to make it the same way we're trying to make it. All these things is amazing. The story gonna actually unveil itself, actually tell itself, bro.
Yeah, exactly, man. And it's fun. It's fun. Like just talking to you, just listening to what you're doing gives me even more hope. Like I'm going in the right direction because there's people out there literally grinding just like me. Like I literally do work for my podcast while I'm at work. And I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting down. Most people would sit down and just be on the phone on YouTube doing bullshit. Me, I'm just like, okay, I call my brother up. I'm like, yo, what's the next topic gonna be about? What could we've done better on the last episode? I made no excuse. Like, yo, this is serious to me, man. Like, I don't know.
He calls me every day.
Yeah,
exactly. every day. What's the new topic? Do we need to do 2 episodes? 1 episode? I think we need to do 2. Should we add somebody? Nah, maybe. Like, listen. You got a lot of ideas. We can always just put it down every other week. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's crazy, man. We all went to Miami. We all grew up around the same neighborhood. We probably all walked the same footstep at some point. Yep. We all didn't know I was. So it's amazing. Bro. It's amazing to know that it's like the same people from the same lifestyle trying to make something out of nothing.
Right. Yeah. And I, I'm excited. I know sooner or later Joe's gonna find what his is. But you know what? In the meantime,
y'all sports management. I already told you this already. It's called being a sports agent. Come on, understand this already.
It's not gonna end there, Joe. It's not
all I want.
You sure?
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's not gonna end there.
I want my agency. Damn right. I want my business, but
it ain't gonna end there. What else?
I gotta be an agent first. Gotta be an agent first. I can't just get my business and expect people to come. Like, what the fuck? No. Shit don't work like that. I need to have the groundwork. I need to put my feet down and start.
Let me know if you need any help with your sport days. I'll do whatever. But anyway, like I said, dog, man, like that's literally how it goes, man. Like for real, Alex, that you gave me and Joe a ton of information. This had to be one of the another interesting one.
You know, I don't know which one is even better because I learned a lot with Nick with the real estate topic we had, but yo, I learned a lot. Like you have a way of breaking down information. Like that's why you probably present this on Shark Tank, but those guys can be kind of greedy a little bit, little vagabonds. But
Yeah,
so I get
they are greedy.
on the show, he like nah.
You know, you have to know how to stand your ground too, because they at the end of the day, bro, they trying to rob you, bro.
They are.
If you're smart enough, they trying to rob you. The goal is to rob you, bro. If it's smart, you're like, you know, he's smart. He got a good head on his shoulder. Let me look out for you.
Right, 10%. That's all you get. They be talking about 30%, 20%. What?
Bro,
hey, what? You hit 50%? That's dead. If I hit 50%, I'm just walking back out where I came in, bro. Like, why the hell am I giving you 50%? That's huge. What?
Like, I see their ratios, Joe. It breaks my heart. I'm like, oh man, you're actually. And some people, they're just so desperate to get their brand out there. They're like, I'll take it.
At the end of the day, like, you know, they actually, like, the connection is it's kind of wrong to sell your company for like 50% is crazy, but the connection you have with them, bro, is just like you possibly could become a millionaire. They probably gonna get more money out of you than you making out of it at the end of the day. So it just.
Yeah, you're right, man. Yo, Alex, dog, I appreciate you for getting on. For real, man. Like, me and Joe, like, this was probably one of my favorite episodes, man. You know, I didn't even know you went to the same high school as us. You grew up in the same city as us. You had everything we had. You had Pate, Akasan. Yo, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying?
What's wrong with this guy? Oh, my God.
Man. He's another guy right up the street, Joe, man. Everything.
So stupid.
The grit that people have that are from North Miami, kid.
First of all, the best pot there is from Pima Booth. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Best pot there is from Pima Booth.
Y'all ever had Natalie Pate?
Nah.
I had it.
Yeah.
But nothing. I didn't like it.
You
I
like
didn't like it. I ain't like it.
I never had Natalie Pate. What is that? That's another restaurant?
It's right by the Miami Senior High School.
What's wrong with it? Why was it not good?
Is that on Dixie?
That's on Dixie, yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, I didn't like it.
Actually, you know, before I left for college, I thought it was amazing. But I do hear from people that now it's not as good as it was then. So I'm not sure if you had.
Yeah, I don't know if I had it like. I don't know if I had it like back like a bad batch. I only went there one time, and one time that was it. You know, so I never went back there again. So they had to get it right the first time. They failed, so I never went back. Yeah. I got some though. Pressure.
Yeah,
it's good. I really appreciate that, for real. I didn't even know y'all both went to the same high school. Same high school as me, which is crazy, bro. Because it's sick. I didn't know that, man. But you know, you guys give me the opportunity to come to this platform and actually express myself and talk about my idea, even though it's not the perfect idea ever. You know, it's not done yet. It's not a full functioning product yet. You know, I still appreciate the fact that I come there and you guys are able to listen to the process that I'm going through, even though I'm probably going to know more in a year or 2 years from now. But the fact that I'm able to have this podcast with you guys and talk about it, it's fun to actually go. It's fun to talk about the process. You go through it, you don't actually think about it, but talking about it, it kind of like show you, like, you know, you're not by yourself. You're actually doing something that's actually going to help people.
Yeah,
that is dope. We appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So I'm gonna tell all the listeners out there that are in Orlando, just basically Florida in general, download the Tease app.
It's gonna be in Florida within 2 years at least. I know that's gonna happen. It's gonna be in Florida, period. Like that app is too good of an app for it not to be in high schools, colleges. Like
it's gonna go out there. It's gonna go out there, like, to a lot of different places.
Yeah, it's too good of an app.
Yeah. Real quick, but I forgot to ask you this question, Alex. How do you market it? Are you planning on going on the radio? Are you gonna be on a commercial on TV? what's the most effective way to?
Is he gonna go on a podcast like right now? Trying to get
Yeah,
in the market.
I appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, hey, he can do it anytime. Hit me up.
The crazy thing, the way I'm trying to market it, I'm trying to actually put it out there on social media. Like when I first released, I told a lot of my friends that have a lot of like influence on social media. They promoted for me, so that helped me to do a few podcasts, right? So the first week I put it out there, I had a podcast with I didn't have a podcast. I had an interview with 2 different people that's trying to have a podcast with me. But the scheduling conflict it's not working yet. It's actually my first podcast. I've been scheduling a podcast for about a month now, but our schedule never works. It never works for us to talk on the podcast. But the goal is to market it on social media, and then when COVID is done, to go out there on those different school and actually talk to. Because at first, when I was going to the school, I spoke about the app, but I didn't have a product in front of me. So sometimes they look at me crazy, like, okay, talking about this app, and we already have ourselves, our students. So they listen to me, but it's like, okay, do you have something to show us what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what they want. They want to see it.
So now that I have a product, so when everything opened back up, the goal is to actually go to the different schools and grind and talk to different advisors, do appointment, talk to different schools, go to FAMU, talk to teachers that I already know to help me like to talk about the app, to actually get it out there. Promote on GroupMe, promote on social media platform, on like group like FAMU platforms. Then it's a lot of work to promote it, bro. So I'm trying to get help with
Yeah.
And definitely being a podcast, you guys saying like go follow Join Season on Instagram. It's actually a good way for me to put the app out there, and more people are gonna find about it. And later on, when I add more school, more people could use it.
Oh yeah, I got you, man. I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. I think I already have, but I'll double check again, man. But yeah, dog, I really appreciate you coming out, Alex. This was definitely informative. You might have changed somebody's life, maybe 1 or 2 people. It doesn't matter. As long as it's one person that's listening to the show, man, they're getting some out of this, dog. But yeah, dog, me and Joe, we definitely appreciate you, dog. We'll probably get you on a year from now. We'll probably look at this interview and we live further.
Rewind it.
Rewind real quick. Yeah, man. But all right, Alex, man. Yeah, man, dog. You have a fucking great weekend. Rest of the weekend.
Great week. The weekend's over. The weekend is over. Great week.
Yeah, you're right.
Likewise, man. I hope y'all boys can keep pushing the podcast, man. I definitely look. I mean, actually, man, do you guys have an Instagram? I could follow y'all boys on Instagram.
Yeah, oh man, real talk, real views. It's the logo of me and my brother looking at each other, papers flying, podium in the middle. That's us, man. And if you listen to podcasts on a regular, it's motivation. You can subscribe to our podcast. You can listen to us on a regular, man. We always bring out fire content, dog. Me and Joe.
Okay, appreciate y'all boys, man.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate you, dog. You take it easy, Alex.
All right, man. You guys have a good one.
You too, man.
You too. Appreciate it.